Hey YouTube. So, um, let's talk about Maleah Davis. And the reason I want to talk about Maleah Davis is I have been paying excessive attention to this case. Um, I don't know why the case has touched me so much. I think maybe it has something to do with the fact that, first of all, I used to be a foster child. I was in foster care off and on from the ages of 6 until about 12 years old. So, a very long time. I was in and out of foster care, 6 years. And that's a very long time for a young child. And so, I know what it's like to have CPS involved in your life and to suffer abuse at the hands of people that are supposed to take care of you, be they family members or foster parents, because that can also happen. And I wanted to talk to you guys about the case of Maleah Davis. The reason that Maleah Davis's case bothers me so much, I think, is because of that. And it's really taken off in the media. So what happened is around May 3rd, it's currently May 15th, a man named Mr. Darian Vance, I think, reported that he was going to pick up his wife in Texas, or his girlfriend in Texas, with his 2-year-old son and his stepdaughter, Maleah Davis, who I believe is like 4 or 5 years old. And he said that he stopped to check on a flat tire, or what he thought was a flat tire, and that while he was checking on it, he was in a silver Nissan Altima, and 3 Hispanic men got out of a blue pickup truck and made a comment about Maleah and how cute she was, and hit him over the head, on the front portion of his head, and abducted him and his 2-year-old and Maleah, and that they basically were driven around in the truck almost 24 hours and then dumped on the side of the road. And when he woke up, he said he was in and out of consciousness from the hit to the head, and that when he woke up, Maleah was gone and his car was gone because he was taken to another location, and he was just with his son. So him and his son were left on the side of the road. So when I first heard the story, I thought it was, pure foolishness. And then eventually it comes out that he has been charged in the disappearance of Maleah. Other details that have come out are that there has been human blood found in the home that he shares with Maleah's mother. And Maleah had suffered a serious brain injury late last year. She was taken out of her parents' home, placed into foster care, and returned sometime in February. Here we are in May, and now the child is missing. They eventually located the Nissan Altima that he said he was driving at an Avis rental car parking lot, and in the trunk of the car, they detected the odor of a cadaver through dog sniff testing. So a canine basically smelled the trunk and alerted on the odor of a cadaver. He said that he walked to the hospital, and that like after he was hit over the head, after he was dropped off, he walked to the hospital with his son because nobody would pull over and help him. But then the surveillance footage showed that he was dropped off in the Nissan Altima that he said was missing and stolen. He was dropped off in that Nissan Altima at the hospital. And then the baby's DNA came back on the blood that was in the house. I mean, the case is just a mess. It's very clear that he had something to do with the disappearance of this child, given the blood. The other piece of evidence you should know about is that, if again, in case you don't know, most people know what's going on, but just for posterity's sake, the other piece of evidence was that little Maleah's, Darian Vance was on video carrying a basket with a plastic bag inside of it out of the apartment, and the mother said it didn't make any sense for him to be doing that. And then also on the day that he said he was going to pick up the mother from the George Bush Airport in Texas, he said he left with Maleah and his own son. He was just leaving with his son. Maleah was nowhere in sight. And actually the last time Maleah was seen on the footage, because there was surveillance footage outside of his apartment, the last time he was seen on the surveillance footage, or Maleah was seen on the surveillance footage, was April 30th, right? So April 30th, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, 3 whole days before he reports that he left on the 3rd to go pick up the mother, and then Maleah went missing when they were abducted. So the story didn't make any sense, and then all of the evidence that has come out since then that at least we know about. I've also seen on Twitter someone saying that there was human remains found in the drain of like the bathroom drain in their apartment, but I haven't seen that confirmed on any news sources yet, but that's just a theory that's floating out there. And I'm sure that the police are not telling us everything, as they should not tell the public everything. But you know, the mother knew that the boyfriend, Darian Vance, had abused Maleah, and she covered up for him because she said through a spokesperson that the gentleman, Darian Vance, had caused the injury to Maleah's head that caused her to go to the hospital, have multiple surgeries earlier in the year, and then eventually be taken away from the family. And then Maleah was returned to the family. And I just don't get that. You know, I am such a feminist. I hate to be the one to say, you know, put it on the mother, put it on the woman, because that's not always fair. But in this particular circumstance, it is fair. She's now made allegations that not only has he physically abused Maleah, causing the injury to her head, that Darian Vance also sexually abused Maleah, which is also physical abuse, but you know what I mean, the difference between physical beating and violence and sexual abuse. So she alleges molestation, she alleges physical abuse, and she still left him in custody and control of her child when she said that she went to her father's funeral. Now, they've confirmed that she did, in fact, go to her father's funeral because the funeral home said that the mother was there. Brittany Bowens was her name. But we have got to stop. I don't have any children, right? I have a stepdaughter. I don't have any children of my own. And I see my stepdaughter as my own child. And even I, right? My stepdaughter is my fiance's daughter. I am never alone with her because she is young, right? She is barely verbal, right? And it would not be right for me to be home alone with her. And I don't want to ever be home alone with her. You know, my fiance is with her at all times whenever she's visiting. So there's no reason that I should be home alone with her for any extended periods of time. Sure, maybe I'll take her for a walk around the block or something like that. But other than that, I'm not going to be home alone with someone else's child. Anybody that wants to be with your child that much, you should be suspicious of that. And anyone that you see that they're abusing your child, remove your child from the home. If you don't want to protect yourself, at least protect your babies. I really do not get it. And statistically speaking, when it comes to violence in the home and children that are abused by members of their household, they are more likely to be abused by a mother's boyfriend or significant other that's not the child's father. That is not to say that all men that are stepfathers are somehow unsafe, or that all men are predators, or that all men will abuse or kill children. Absolutely not. What I am saying is, why is it, right, that you need to have this person alone with your child, especially where she knows that the child was in danger because he had abused, according to her, he had abused the child previously. And I don't think it needs to even get to the point where the man has abused the child. I don't think you need to wait for that, right? I think what you need to do is to, first of all, I know childcare is real difficult. I learned, you know, with my fiance that, you know, he pays for daycare for her. Daycare is expensive. I get it. People have to work. I get it. But Maleah was 3 feet tall and 40 pounds. She had nobody to protect her. Mommy could have taken her with her when she went to go to her father's funeral. Or she could have left Maleah with her mother, with Brittany Bowen's mother. So the mother of the child, she could have left the child with her own mother because that mother had tried to take custody of Maleah. Or guess what? She could have left Maleah with her father because apparently the father was trying to get more visitation and custody of the child. So Now a child is missing. Likely, let's be honest, the child is likely dead. I hope that she's not, but with the smell of a cadaver in the trunk of the car. I don't agree with canine evidence all the time because I'm a criminal defense attorney and I know that sometimes canine evidence is not accurate when it comes to drugs, for example, or tracking the scent of a human being and saying that they're here or they're there. But what they are accurate about is detecting the scent of a cadaver. They're really accurate with that. They're accurate with detecting a scent of a cadaver because it's basically what they eat. So they're very accurate with that, right? So you can train them about the different smells in human remains and versus animal remains. And so that dog detected a cadaver in the trunk of that car, and there likely was a cadaver in the trunk of that car, a dead body. So likely he has murdered Maleah. And I am just heartbroken by it. It bothers me so much. Protect your babies, right? Keep them safe. It's not easy to be a single mom. I am not a single mom, but my cousins are single moms. I have 2 female cousins. They're single moms. I have friends that are single moms. I have friends that are single dads. I have people that I'm friends with. I'm 34 years old, so I'm in that demographic where people are starting to co-parent with people they've broken up with. I've seen it all. Do not leave your children unattended. Do not leave them with your boyfriends and girlfriends. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Because honestly, I'm going to say this 100%. I love my stepdaughter with all my heart, right? I can't wait to marry her father so that she officially becomes my stepdaughter. I think of her, I call her my bonus daughter, not my stepdaughter, but just technically so you know what I'm saying. If I never have children in this world, I consider her my daughter. You know what I'm saying? But I know that I cannot love her and care for her as much as her own mother does. Right? I can give her all the care in the world. I can make sure every single one of her needs are met. I can make sure she has a well-adjusted life. And I hope to be a part of that, until she's an adult and to be a positive influence in her life. But I will never have the connection to her that her mother has to her. I'll never have the connection to her that her father has to her. And so I'm not a sick person. I'm not going to do anything to harm anyone. But if you have a sick person in your house, especially someone that is hiding that they're sick and you don't even know it, they will never have the same connection to your child that you have to your child. Never, ever. Okay? They will love them as much as it is in their capacity to love them. But it is not the same love as someone who carried them for 9 months and gave birth to them. Or watch the woman that they love carry that child for 9 months and give birth to them. Someone that carries, their DNA. Or someone that they chose to adopt and take into their life and love on. And they made a choice. Some people, I think I'm one of those people, can love those children unconditionally. But some people cannot. There is a sinister hatred there with some people, not everybody. Let me be clear about that. I'm not talking about everybody. But there are some people that have a sinister hatred for a child that is not their own. They feel some level of competition because there was someone that was there before them. That is a symbol that there was a man or a woman there before them that created life with their partner. And that child is always a symbol of that. Do not leave your children unattended with your boyfriends and girlfriends. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it.